Everyone, good morning. You have reached the Human K channel. Today, we're going to talk about resource-based theory, which is an important theory in the area of strategic management. Penrose came up with this theory in the 1980s, and it has helped us learn a lot about how to manage a company's resources, diversification strategies, and productive possibilities. It has become a framework that helps us predict organizational performance and competitive edge by putting the focus on internal organizational resources instead of approaches that are driven by what's going on outside the organization. Now, when you study this theory, you may come across different terms. Some experts call it resource-based theory, which is short for RBT. Others call it resource-based view, which is short for RBV. This difference in terminology has caused some confusion, but don't worry. Research reviews have always shown that this theory is valid, no matter what it's called. Resource-based, the theory's main goal is to find and understand the firm's resources that are hard for rivals to copy. These resources, which are often called imperfectly imitable firm resources, could give a company a long-term competitive edge. By using these unique resources well, organizations can get ahead of their competitors and be successful over the long run. The main point of resource-based theory is to look at an organization's internal skills and assets. It tries to answer questions like, what are the company's special assets? How can these tools be used to make something worthwhile? And how can they help the company be better than its competitors? Now, if you want to be a manager or leader, it's important to understand resource-based theory because it gives you a complete way to look at a company's strengths, flaws, and possible areas of competitive advantage. By doing a full analysis of the organization's internal resources, we can find places to improve and come up with plans that play to the organization's strengths. Remember that the resource-based theory stresses the value of an organization's own resources, focusing on the unique and hard-to-copy skills that can set it apart. This idea lets us shift our focus from things that are only outside of us to things that are inside of us and can lead to long-term success. Resource-based theory says that companies need to change their focus if they want to have a competitive advantage that lasts. But the standard view of this theory doesn't fully explain why and how some companies gain a competitive edge in situations that are unpredictable and change quickly. Here, a larger view of resource-based theory comes into play, which says that firms can gain a competitive edge by constantly combining or rearranging different kinds of resources and making new applications to meet market needs. Now, let's look more closely at the different kinds of tools that resource-based theory takes into account. These resources can be put into three main groups: physical capital resources, human capital resources, and organizational capital resources. Tangible resources include financial gains and obvious business contributions. Intangible resources, on the other hand, include assets like skills, knowledge, and strategic and social benefits. More recently, the idea of dynamic capabilities has come about. This is the ability to constantly create, extend, upgrade, protect, and keep the unique asset base of a company relevant in an environment that is always changing. The framework of resource-based theory suggests 4 ways to figure out if a resource has the potential to give a company a lasting competitive advantage: value, scarcity, immobility, and sustainability. This is what the VRIS structure, which stands for value, rare, immobility, and sustainability. It helps with strategic planning by showing what a company needs to have in order to have a chance of staying ahead of the competition. But it's crucial to keep in mind that poor organizational policies, processes, and procedures can undermine a resource's potential competitive advantage. So, the VRIO model, which stands for valuable, rareness, inimitability, and organization, stresses how important it is that a resource be embedded in an organization. This shows how important good management is to make the most of valuable, rare, and hard-to-copy resources. The way an organization works is the adjusting factor that determines whether or not it can take advantage of the benefits of its valuable, rare, and hard-to-copy resources. Knowing the framework of resource-based theory, we can see how exploring an organization's capabilities and resources could lead to a return. This gives us a better idea of how these factors affect a company's ability to compete and how well it does economically. The resource-based theory framework has been used to study business resource and capability strategy, adapting to current changes in the business environment, such as technology and innovation. It has taught us a lot about how organizations can use different market-based resources, such as technology and innovation, to notice changes in the business environment and respond to them successfully, especially in the context of marketing innovation. Resource-based theory also helps explain the idea of a company's dynamic capabilities. This is the company's ability to combine, grow, and rearrange both internal and external skills in response to environments that change quickly. This view takes into account the fact that a company's abilities change over time and stresses the importance of seeing a company's resources as paths for product growth. The development of resource-based theory has also given a different explanation for a company's competitive advantage that goes beyond the standard positioning viewpoint in strategy. Resource-based theory shows how to get a competitive edge by looking at key scarce resources, like the benefits of using information and communication technology, ICT, in organizations. This is very important when it comes to computer systems. In the field of information systems, many scholars have used resource-based theory as the main theory to study how organizations do in terms of IT. This method lets us look at how important ICT resources are to a company's value, since IT management is all about the company's ability to create new skills. By using the conditions of resource-based theory to test the link between ICT-related resources and competitive advantage, we build a theoretical foundation for studying this particular area. It shows how important ICT resources are to the value of a business and how important IT management is to a company's ability to develop new skills. Traditional resource-based theory is often criticized for not being able to explain competitive advantage in a business setting where things can change quickly. The theory was often attacked for its idea of static value creation, which didn't take into account how the business world changes over time. It was also hard to figure out how organizational actions affected the effectiveness of resources over time. But it's important to keep in mind that resource-based theory hasn't stopped moving forward because of these complaints. Later improvements have been made to try to fix these problems and make the theory more useful. One important improvement is that the straight link between valuable, rare, and imperfectly imitable resources and results has been broken. This method takes into account the fact that having valuable, rare, or hard-to-copy resources does not promise a competitive advantage on its own. Instead, it stresses how important it is to manage and use these resources well in order to build a sustainable advantage. Another complaint that has been dealt with is that the traditional theory supports rareness more than once. Improvements have made it clearer how important rare resources are for getting a competitive edge and have worked on finding out what makes resources truly rare and hard to copy. Resource-based theory has also acknowledged the need to think about exogenous resources. These are resources that come from outside an organization and can affect its economic advantage. This realization makes the theory's scope bigger and gives us a better idea of all the things that affect organizational success. Even with these problems, it is important to note that the area of resource-based theory has grown and changed quickly. Scholars and researchers keep improving and adding to the theory, which makes it more useful and wide-reaching. This constant change makes sure that resource-based theory is still a useful way to understand competitive advantage in today's fast-paced business world. The talk for today is over. I think you should keep reading and studying to learn more about how resource-based theory has changed and grown. Thank you, and I hope you have a good day.